Family councils, you hit on that. And I know that wasn't part of what we were talking about, but would you expand on that a little bit? What's the purpose of a family council? What are some of the other things that can happen inside of there? Ira, do you want to run with that?
I'm sorry, go Mike.
Who's going, Jeff, you or me?
You
Ira,
go.
go
Okay.
ahead.
So if a family council is not a board of directors, it is a group of family members that, as I said, talks about what does it mean that we own a family? What are our values? What are the entry and exit requirements? What kind of person is going to be a good fit in this company? What challenges have we learned from the company? You can get teenagers. I'm a big fan of when you do a SWOT analysis and look at your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. Do a SWOT analysis on your competitor and then talk about what are their threats that could be your opportunities. This is something that teenagers can collaborate on, cousins can collaborate on, cousins who might only know that their parents don't get along that well. And so, the business might go down in that generation because who's going to want, our kids working together? So these are things that you can do there. You can have guest speakers from other companies that are doing things well. It should be a mix of education and fun and just that you are a family and also that you're a family business. You can have film night there's a million excellent family business movies. I mean, you watch 6 Feet Under, that's like one long family business case, for instance.
Right. I'm going to throw it to you in a second, Jeff. I just want to, Ira, what you said earlier, you had mentioned philanthropy and then you were just talking about the cousins. Yeah. And I think that's, we're going to do an episode on that in the future where it's how philanthropy can be the sandbox for entrepreneurship and leadership in that teenager and the child, as you're developing these kids. It's just a great place to do that. Would you agree with that?
Yes, if you are a family of any kind of means, you could contact the community foundation in your area that basically organizes people's philanthropy and just say, we would like these cousins educated by you about charitable giving, the tax consequences, the finding meaningful causes, and so on. And they will get that together for you.
Yeah, agreed. Jeff, go back to family councils.
Just a quick philanthropy thing. Like most things, there are better and not so great ways to do it. And there's sort of the easy, pick something important to you. The family will write a check on the one hand, or you can say what's important to you about what's going on in the world. We have more than enough money than we need for ourselves. And at young ages say, let's learn about a problem going on in the world and let's see if we can get our hands dirty, helping. So to actually volunteer coupled with giving money is really, really strong. And so the more that you sort of get actively involved in understanding what the families try to impact, and, teaching kids how to assess, if the money's going to the right place and is it having the impact you want, and all kinds of creative ways to really do that well. But I agree it's important. What I was going to say before Ira went on family councils is you get 3 family business consultants together, you'll get at least 5 definitions of a family council. There's a lot of ways of looking at it. I agree with everything that Ira said. The way I tend to look at it, it's just my own sort of technical way of looking at it, is when the family ownership group gets to a certain size, you can't have that many people communicating with the board, if the business even has a board, or communicating with senior management, which may or may not be family. For me, a family council is once you get past, 10 or 12 family owners, and I've been involved with family businesses of all sizes, but on the large end, 100, 120 cousins. Imagine 120 cousins trying to make a decision about something important. It's insane. For me, the family council is a representative group made for the right reasons, not just the oldest or not just the biggest shareholders, but can really contribute and would do well on that kind of representative committee. And the family council goes between the rest of the family owners and tries to give a common voice on behalf of the family to the board of directors, so they can say, this is what we want to accomplish. Or if there's no board of directors, they can at least communicate to the chief executive and the top management, which may or may not be family, but it's such a important thing for the family to try to have a common voice. And just a quick thing, and then I'll go to you, Ira. I see you had your finger up. even boards of directors scare a lot of people. They feel like they're giving away control of their company to some people they don't know, which is not the case at all. The owners can always get rid of the board of directors if anything happens that they don't like. A real board of directors is such a crucial and important aspect of any business, but especially a family business that's juggling all these tensions. And so for families that are afraid of a formal legal fiduciary, written into the corporate documents board, there's the advisory board where you just get a few of the right people together, get them in a room, tell them what's going on, and get some advice as a way of experimenting with it. I'm being wordy, but you go, Ira. You had something to say.
I would just add to that 2 other ideas. One is I've facilitated many roundtables over the years, and even though that might just be the owner or a key manager of a company, depending on what the identity of the group is, that's also another way to have an outside board that is more of a kitchen cabinet. You have no legal responsibility to them. You're going to admit your failings more than you might to your actual board, and get good questions asked. More than advice, even strategic questions, a group of people that can help you think it through. The other one that I've seen as a family counsel in this one company that I worked with was 5 warring families that all had a piece of this company, and they disagreed on the direction. And I'm saying, you ever watch The Godfather? Like, they bring their families together for a little summit of like, we're going to kill this guy tomorrow, and just stay calm. It's going to be okay for you. I said, you need to bring these 5 branches of your family together, or you're going to end up in a minority lawsuit. And they didn't, and then they did. So.
Yeah, and that branch stuff, I mean, we can go in so many different directions, but the branch stuff, as things grow, 3 siblings each get their share possibly, and then they have kids, and you can really get caught into like trying to run a business by being fair to the different branches. Everyone has to have the same number of top executives. The compensation going to each family line has to be more or less the same. You can't run a business that way, and I've seen a lot of family businesses go awry. Are we having time for Q&A too, or?
Yeah, I just real quick on Ira's note about the CEO roundtable. I would think when you're a family business that, there's Vistage out there and there's a bunch of other places which are great for the CEO roundtable, but it'd be so important to make sure that you're doing it with companies that are of the same size, of the same generation experience, or maybe somebody that's you're mixing in, having somebody that's been through it already, but that family business component is also there as well. And it's not always easy to find that, but it's available. I know Cornell, I think, does some of that stuff that work down there. I believe here in Rochester, St. John Fisher's doing some of that. We try to facilitate that. I know you guys try to facilitate those types of things as well.
It's such a cheap way to get good advice. And I would say if you have a company that can afford this, it doesn't take a lot of money. Even a round table for your number 2, even a round table for your sales manager. I mean, These are all people that need to learn from their peers.